to you, Cecilia. Brad Pitt going head-to-head with Angelina Jolie in what could turn out to be another courtroom showdown for the former couple. This time, Pitt is suing Jolie, accusing her of secretly selling her share in their French winery to a Russian oligarch.
A Los Angeles judge just ordered Angelina Jolie to turn over 22 unredacted private messages to Brad Pitt's legal team in their ongoing winery battle. December 17, 2025 brought the ruling that gives Jolie 45 days to hand over emails and texts she had previously claimed were privileged, and her attorney has already announced plans to appeal. Chateau Miraval sits at the center of this case, a French winery the former couple purchased together in 2008.
Big deal.
Life or death. Wine?
This morning, the fight making its way to court. Brad Pitt suing his ex-wife Angelina Jolie, accusing her of unlawfully selling her share of their multi-million-dollar estate and winery, Chateau Miraval, located in the south of France. In court documents obtained by ABC News, Pitt alleging the Maleficent star consummated the purported sale without Pitt's knowledge, denying Pitt the consent right she owed him and the right of first refusal her business entity owed his, adding they agreed to never sell respective interests in Miraval without the other's consent.
A business partnership turned into a $35 million lawsuit after Jolie sold her stake without Pitt's approval.
Hey Billboard, welcome to Miraval Studios. I'll be showing you around, so come please.
There was always plans to revamp the studio. We had the great bones of what Jacques Lussier created here. And it's got great historical provenance of the music talent that's come through these doors. And so it was always something we wanted to revamp, but didn't want to do it until we could do something special.
Judge Martin's discovery order shifts the balance in a legal fight that's been grinding through the courts for nearly 3 years. How Chateau Miraval became a courtroom battle. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie bought Chateau Miraval in 2008 for roughly $27 to $28 million, acquiring an estate that sits on 200 acres in Corren, southern France, producing award-winning rosé wine. Mondo Bongo, Pitt's company, controlled 60% of the initial purchase, while Jolie's company Nouvelle held 40%, but by 2013, they'd restructured to split ownership evenly after Pitt transferred some shares to her firm. Marriage came in 2014 at the vineyard itself. Divorce papers arrived in 2016, and that's when the winery started becoming a point of contention between them. 8 years would pass before their divorce finalized in December 2024, but the business dispute over Miraval continued separately. October 2021 brought the sale that triggered this entire legal fight, when Angelina Jolie sold her 50% stake in Chateau Miraval.
This is a really high-stakes case. Not only is it personal between Angelina and Brad, there is a lot of money at stake here.
ET has obtained Brad's lawsuit, which accuses Angelina of selling their French vineyard to a Russian businessman without the actor's consent. The couple
to Tanut Del Mondo, the wine division of Russian billionaire Yuri Shefler's SPI Group. Shefler owns Stoli Vodka, making him one of the world's major spirits players. Court filings later revealed the price at roughly $67 million for her share, though at the time, nobody disclosed the figure publicly. February 2022 saw Brad Pitt respond by filing a lawsuit against Jolie and her company Nouvelle, and Reuters reported that Pitt accused her of unlawfully selling her interests behind his back and violating an alleged agreement that neither party would sell their stake without the other's consent.
And the right of first refusal her business entity owed his. So the right of first refusal means if you are going to sell it, I have the right to buy it. And if I have the right to buy it, I have to turn it down first before anyone else can buy.
Pitt claims they operated under a verbal and written understanding that required mutual approval for any sale, while Jolie denies there was ever a binding agreement and maintains she had every right to sell her property interest. September 2022 brought Jolie's countersuit, with her company Nouvelle seeking at least $250 million in damages, and accusing Pitt of what Reuters quoted as waging a quote, vindictive war against her. According to the countersuit, Pitt had torpedoed earlier buyout negotiations, by demanding she sign a non-disclosure agreement that would silence her about alleged abuse during their marriage, effectively making the NDA a poison pill that killed any chance of an amicable sale. Jolie has referenced a 2016 private jet flight during which Pitt allegedly became verbally and physically abusive.
Very sensitive issue. We know that an incident occurred which led to your separation. We also know you haven't said anything about this, but would you like to say something?
Only that I don't want to say very much about that, except to say it was a very difficult time, and we are a family, and we will always be a family, and we will get through this time, and
the FBI investigated that incident but filed no charges. Pitt has denied any criminal wrongdoing, and his lawyers insist he has taken responsibility for past issues like alcohol misuse but won't own anything he didn't do.
They became friends after meeting in AA.
On my knees, and I was really open to, I was trying anything and anything anyone threw at me. It was a particular difficult time. I need to
From 2022 forward, this legal battle over Miraval grew increasingly bitter, with Pitt's team claiming Jolie deliberately sought to undermine the winery's legacy by selling to a party he opposed, while Jolie's side argues Pitt is punishing her for speaking out and trying to use business leverage to impose a gag order on personal matters. The discovery fight that led to this week's ruling. Throughout 2023, both parties engaged in heated discovery fights, which is the legal process where each side can request documents and information from the other side in a lawsuit. Jolie's team demanded Pitt turn over records about his alleged misconduct, arguing he waived privacy by filing the lawsuit, while Pitt's side called her requests wide-ranging and intrusive. July 2023 brought a judge's order requiring Pitt to produce information about any NDAs relevant to the case, and then April 2025 delivered another discovery order requiring Jolie to turn over 8 years of NDA agreements to probe whether Pitt's proposed NDA was unusual. November 2024 delivered a pre-trial win for Pitt when a Los Angeles judge dismissed 3 of Jolie's claims and motions to dismiss the case, which allowed Pitt's core lawsuit to proceed toward trial. Mid-2025 saw Pitt seeking to depose a Stoli Group executive named Alexei Oligarch, claiming this official had direct knowledge of Jolie's sale negotiations.
A dispute over Chateau Miraval, the French winery they previously owned together. According to court documents obtained by E! News, Brad is seeking to depose Alexei Oligarch, who works for the alcohol brand Stoli Group. In his June 30th filing, Brad says that Alexei had first-hand knowledge of Angelina's 2021 sale of the former couple's winery to Tenute Del Mondo, which is the wine division of Stoli. The actor alleges in his filing that Alexei has refused to turn over relevant documents pertaining to
and had been uncooperative in providing documents. October 2025 revealed Pitt is seeking $35 million in damages from Jolie for the sale, though Jolie's lawyers accused Pitt of dragging out the case to cover up his personal misconduct, noting he was now demanding $67 million plus punitive damages. They argued that because she refused the NDA, he seeks to punish her. Which brings us to December 17, 2025. What the judge ordered on December 17th. Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Leah Martin granted Brad Pitt's motion to compel discovery in the Miraval case. And according to court documents obtained by People magazine and other outlets, Judge Martin ordered Angelina Jolie to turn over certain previously withheld communications related to the winery sale that she had claimed were privileged. Production of unredacted versions of emails and text messages exchanged between non-attorney parties is what the order requires, meaning communications among her business associates or staff, not with her lawyers, that were listed on her privilege log from February 14, 2025. 45 days from December 17th is all Jolie gets to comply, which means late January or early February 2026 becomes the deadline when Jolie is required to hand over those materials, unless an appellate court intervenes to pause the order. People magazine reported the court order language stating, "The court orders Jolie to produce in full, within 45 days of this order, unredacted versions of the communications exchanged between non-attorneys in the 22 documents identified on Jolie's February 14, 2025 privilege log." 22 disputed documents sit at the heart of this fight, including emails and text messages between Jolie's associates as they strategize the sale of Jolie's Miraval stake, and the communications involve her longtime business manager Tina Bird, who's sometimes called Terry Bird, along with advisors Chloe Dalton and Baroness Arminka Helik. According to reporting from Radar Online, Jolie's team had redacted portions of these communications or withheld them entirely, arguing the communications were covered by attorney-client privilege or work product because the staff were allegedly helping her obtain legal advice. Pitt's lawyers contested this hard, and Radar Online reports they accused Jolie of abusing the privilege to bury documents that go to the heart of the case. Specific examples came up during the arguments, including one email chain that involved Bird and Jolie's aides drafting a message for an attorney named Laurent Schummer regarding the transaction, which Pitt's side argues is a business discussion, not a protected legal communication. Another example had Bird allegedly giving his personal take on the sale and receiving instructions on handling Scheffler's inquiry. Judge Martin sided with Pitt on these points, finding that communications solely between Jolie's non-lawyer staff aren't shielded just because at some stage they relate to legal advice, which meant Jolie must disclose them in discovery without redactions. What this ruling actually means: a procedural win for Pitt in the pre-trial evidence-gathering phase is what this represents, because Pitt's motion to compel was asking the court to force Jolie to hand over documents she had withheld. By granting that motion, Judge Martin agreed that Jolie's internal communications about the sale with people like her business manager are not privileged attorney-client communications and must be shown to Pitt's team, stripping away the legal protection Jolie had claimed covered these business discussions. These emails will not be made public, as they only have to be shared with the opposing party under court confidentiality, which means this discovery happens behind closed doors through the standard litigation process. Brad Pitt's camp has long suspected that these communications might contain evidence supporting his claims, and a source close to Pitt told People magazine that his team believes the emails would prove Jolie has been disingenuous from the start regarding her true intentions about selling her share of the business to Stoli. Pitt's side thinks these messages show Jolie planned to sell to the Stoli Group all along, maybe despite him or gain leverage, and they believe she misled him about her intentions. Jolie's side strongly denies any bad faith and maintains she only sold after Pitt allegedly refused to buy her out, unless she agreed to silence herself about personal matters. Jolie's response and what happens next. Condemnation came swiftly from Angelina Jolie's legal team, indicating they will fight this ruling tooth and nail in the appellate courts. Paul Murphy, her attorney, issued a public statement to People magazine saying, "We're disappointed by the court's interpretation of California's privilege law. This ruling violates that law, undermines Ms. Jolie's fundamental right to a fair trial, and represents yet another manifestation of Mr. Pitt's years-long effort to harass and control her. We will appeal." This statement frames the decision as a legal error and part of an alleged pattern of Pitt trying to harass Jolie via the courts, painting the discovery order as harassment disguised as legitimate litigation. By appeal, Jolie's team likely means they will file a writ or appeal to a higher court to overturn or stay Judge Martin's order, and if they move promptly, they may seek a stay, which is a pause of the 45-day deadline, while the privilege issues are reviewed by appellate judges. Legal analysts note that an appeal delays or complicates the timeline significantly, and Jolie might not have to turn over anything in 45 days if an appellate court agrees to hear the issue, buying her more time and potentially killing the disclosure requirement entirely if she wins on appeal. For now, unless a higher court intervenes, Jolie has until around January 31, 2026 to produce the documents in question, and failure to comply results in sanctions or other penalties that could damage her position in the overall case. Jolie's camp insists the content of these emails and texts is not scandalous and says it simply shows her professionals doing due diligence, arguing that Pitt is overstating their significance in an attempt to embarrass or burden her with invasive discovery demands. Earlier filings show Jolie's lawyers argued she has no desire to litigate these issues, and for years never publicly discussed any of it, and rather than appreciate her discretion, they claim Pitt sought to contractually mandate it. They maintain that any secret dealings were just routine business negotiations, necessitated by the breakdown of talks with Pitt, and Jolie has characterized Pitt's lawsuit as frivolous and malicious, while Pitt's side insists Jolie's sale was a betrayal that squandered the legacy of a family property, with sources even claiming she deprived the kids of their inheritance by selling to a third party. Where the case stands now. Pre-trial phase in Los Angeles Superior Court is where this case still sits, and Judge Martin's discovery order is the latest step to ensure all relevant evidence is on the table before any trial begins. Assuming Jolie complies or loses any appeal, Pitt's team will finally get to see those emails and texts from 2021, which influences each side's strategy moving forward. If the contents truly support Pitt's claims, he uses them at a future trial or settlement negotiation, maybe to seek damages or nullify the sale entirely. But if the contents are benign or support Jolie's narrative, that conversely weakens Pitt's leverage and could make her countersuit stronger. No trial date has been publicly set yet, but with divorce matters settled in late 2024 and many preliminary skirmishes now out of the way, the Miraval contract lawsuit heads to trial in 2026 unless the parties reach a settlement, which often happens once discovery reveals the strength of each side's evidence. 3 things to watch as this develops. First, whether Jolie's appeal actually gets filed and if a higher court grants a stay on the 45-day deadline. Because with the order issued December 17th, her legal team needs to move quickly if they want to pause that deadline before it runs out in late January. Appeals of discovery orders in California can be tricky because they require showing the lower court made a clear legal error, and privilege disputes don't always get immediate appellate review from higher courts. Second, if no stay is granted, late January or early February 2026 becomes the moment when Jolie must turn over the unredacted communications to Pitt's team. And once that happens, both sides will have access to the same information, so we could see new filings or motions based on what those documents reveal. Discovery disputes like this often set the stage for settlement negotiations, because once both sides know what evidence exists, they can better evaluate the strength of their positions. Third, keep an eye on whether a trial date gets set, because the case has been bouncing through discovery fights and procedural battles for nearly 3 years in pre-trial. And with this latest discovery order resolving one of the major evidence disputes, the case moves closer to an actual trial in 2026. What this case reveals about high-profile divorces. 5 years out from their separation, the Pitt saga shows no signs of ending, and what started as a dream partnership in wine has turned into a protracted courtroom feud, bridging personal and commercial domains. Judge Martin's December 17th discovery order highlights how business assets acquired during a marriage become battlegrounds long after the divorce itself is finalized, especially when those assets carry both financial value and emotional significance. Transparency about the sale negotiations is what Pitt's attorneys have been pushing for, while Jolie's team has been fighting to keep certain communications private. And Judge Martin's ruling suggests the court believes Pitt deserves access to more information about how the sale went down. From Pitt's perspective, this ruling is a necessary step to prove Jolie violated their agreement and sold the winery in bad faith, while from Jolie's perspective, it's an overreach that invades her communications and represents harassment through litigation. Coming weeks will show whether Jolie's appeal succeeds in pausing that 45-day deadline, or whether those 22 documents get turned over in February as ordered, but either way, this case illustrates how celebrity divorces don't end when the marriage legally dissolves, as they continue through business disputes, custody battles, and years of litigation over assets that once symbolized a shared future. Chateau Miraval, where Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie got married in 2014, now serves as the centerpiece of a legal fight worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and Judge Martin's December 17th order requiring Jolie to turn over unredacted messages is the latest chapter in that fight, though it won't be the last. Whether those 22 documents change the trajectory of this case or simply add fuel to an already bitter dispute remains to be seen.